Stay the Night, written by Crysis Commander. Sitting in a chair next to her fireplace, Octavia sat sipping a mug of cocoa. She relished times like this. Peaceful, serene, nothing in the world to focus herself on. It allowed for a good amount of reflection, time to look back and ponder her choices. A knocking at the door startled Octavia from her relaxation.
Who could it be at this hour?
She set her cocoa on the table and trotted to the door. Deep down, however, she knew who it might be. Upon opening the door, Octavia was met by a white, electric blue-maned unicorn. She could literally smell the alcohol on the visitor's ruffled fur, cheap and strong. Her eyelids covered reddened eyes from booze and tears.
"Hey, Octavia,"
the unicorn slurred, struggling to keep her balance.
"Can I come in?"
I knew it. Why would I expect any pony else?
Yes, you may come in, Vinyl. She watched as Vinyl stumbled inside, laying now a defeated grunt as she tripped over her own hooves and collapsed on the floor.
This never gets any easier,
Octavia thought, picking up Vinyl and putting her on her couch.
"Sorry, Octi. I really need to stop doing this,"
mumbled Vinyl, eyes barely open. It's no trouble, Vinyl, honest. She hoped that her concerned expression wasn't noticed. I'll go make you some cocoa. Does that sound good? A slight nod was all she needed as a response. Leaving the couch, she trotted to her kitchen, still well within earshot of Vinyl. Another night at the bar? She asked, trying her best to not sound like a scolding mother. Any particular reason?
No reason. Just felt like having a drink. Two.
Was it him? Silence. Neither pony spoke. I thought so. It always is. She returned to the living room with a piping mug of cocoa and set it on the table in front of Vinyl. What happened this time?
Vinyl? Yeah?
Asked Vinyl, trying her best to sit up. What happened? Octavia's voice held a more firm tone than before. Vinyl didn't answer. She shakily levitated the cocoa to her lips, drinking in large gulps until none remained. After she finished, she continued to look at the mug, staring holes into it. Octavia reached out and turned Vinyl's face to hers. As soon as she did, she gasped. Vinyl's right cheek was badly bruised. She hadn't noticed when Vinyl came in.
Dear Celestia! He didn't...
Vinyl looked back to the mug, her expression still forlorn.
I just needed to come here and sober up. I'll get out your hair in a little bit. Don't worry.
Her words were no longer slurred, though they did bear a weight of exhaustion.
Vinyl, you can't be serious. You're not actually going to go back, are you?
When she was answered with no reply, she grew more concerned.
You know it's going to happen again, right?
You don't get it, do you? He's my cult friend. It's not a big deal.
Octavia looked at her friend, almost appalled by her words.
Not a big deal? Truly? How many times have you come over here late in the evening in this state?
No response.
Exactly. And how many times has it been because he said something, or did do something for you, or was just an overall degenerate in general?
I said, you don't get it, Octavia, said Vinyl, her frustration becoming more visible by the second. You don't know him like I do. He loves me.
Well, he certainly has a funny way of showing it, doesn't he?
You're one to talk. Taken aback, Octavia took a moment to process what Vinyl had said.
I beg your pardon?
You heard me. The look in Vinyl's eyes stabbed Octavia, digging under her skin and piercing her heart. Stuff like that's coming from the one who broke up with me. That's what's funny here. What were your words again?
I just don't think we're compatible at the moment. Are you kidding me?
She threw her mug across the room, watching as it shattered on the floor. Sitting in shock, Octavia tried as best as she could to find the appropriate words. You still feel this way after all this time? Of course I do. You didn't talk to me for weeks after that. In fact, I had to come over here and talk to you myself.
You were also drunk when you showed up the first time, just like you have been on every other occasion. Care to guess why you were always drunk? Will you just shut up?
Just shut up. I'm done talking about this. I'm going home. I'll see you around, I guess. Vinyl got up from the couch and trotted to the door. Just as she was about to walk out, she was stopped when Octavia grabbed her and turned her around.
Vinyl, stop! I'm begging you! Don't go! Please!
Vinyl brushed Octavia's hooves from her shoulders. Just let me go, Octavia. I know you don't want me here anyway.
That's not true. I don't want you to leave for both our sakes.
Why do you care so much about this?
Because I care about you, Vinyl!
Seeing Vinyl's dumbfounded reaction, she realized she may have been more forward than she intended.
I mean, I care about you, Vinyl. I really do.
Well, you sure have a funny way of showing it, don't you? Before she could turn around again, Octavia placed a hoof firmly on her shoulder.
Will you stop?
Look, Vinyl, just hear me out on this, please. If you insist. Vinyl closed the door and waited, tapping her hoof impatiently. Trying to keep a steady composure, Octavia took a deep breath. Then another. And another. Vinyl. It pains me to see you continuing this cycle. Every time you come over here, I know that deep down you don't want to go back. However, every time I try and tell you that you're making a huge mistake, it's like you don't even hear me. She looked to the floor, grimacing. I suppose that's my fault. I didn't mean to hurt you how I did. I didn't know what I wanted back then. Then again, I'm not entirely sure what I want even now. She tried desperately to not let Vinyl sense the crushing blows her conscience was delivering to her. But I know what I don't want. I don't want somebody I care so deeply for to keep hurting herself like this. I don't know if you think you can save him or whatever the case may be, but Vinyl, at the moment, you're the one who needs saving. A single tear rolled down her cheek. First, it was worse. Now he's hitting you. It will only escalate. Please understand that. It will not get better. I don't. I can't bear seeing you hurt by him anymore. I can't bear it.
Octavia broke down, falling to the floor. Her body rocked with violent sobs. Vinyl's expression gradually turned to one of remorse. She sat down next to Octavia, patting her back. Oh, Octavia, don't cry. If you start crying, then I start crying. She lowered her head to rest against Octavia's, tears rolling down her own cheeks as she pulled her friend into an awkward hug. The two of them remained there, huddled on the floor in each other's embrace for a time unknown to either of them. Eventually, their sobs died down to mere whimpers, and finally to ragged breaths. After both of them had regained their composure, Octavia looked to Vinyl. I'm sorry you had to say that. Shh. Vinyl put a hoof to Octavia's mouth. You don't need to say anything. I know. Octavia left her friend's embrace and stood back up. So, are you still going to go back? If I don't, what will he say tomorrow? I will help you with that. In fact, I plan to give him a piece of my mind about his actions. She chuckled a bit, then directed her attention to Vinyl once more. So, will you stay the night? Is that even a question? Comfy? Are you sure it's okay for me to sleep in your bed with you in it? We're not exactly dating. I know, but I think you deserve a proper sleep after all you've been through. Getting under the blankets with her friend, she couldn't help but look into her eyes. Who knows? We can end up down that route again. I wouldn't be against it. Octavia looked shocked. Truly? Yeah, you're not so bad, teased Vinyl, ruffling Octavia's mane. Oh, you beast! After they both had a good laugh, Octavia turned off the lights. Good night, Vinyl. It wasn't long before she drifted into a deep sleep. Seeing that Octavia had fallen asleep much faster than she had, Vinyl saw this as the perfect opportunity. She gently placed a kiss on her forehead and rested her head against her friend's. Good night, Octavia. Thank you.